ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्.
Hello friends, today is another episode of Mrityunjaya, a series on death and dying. And आज हमारे साथ अपर्णा कर्नाड है. Aparna is going to share with us her struggle with the death of one of her family members, her brother-in-law. And she's going to open her heart and reach out to us because sometime or the other in our lives, we are going to lose a loved one too. Hi, Aparna.
Hello, ma'am. Namaste.
Namaste, namaste. So, Aparna, tell everybody the work that you do and what is your passion in life?
So I am a Ayurveda physician. I have done my post-graduation MD in Ayurveda. And my passion is about yoga therapy and other healing modalities like pranic healing, then mindfulness meditation, and more into spiritual healing also.
Lovely.
So,
So, have you had any spiritual experiences as a child?
yes, many of them, ma'am.
Please share.
Around when I was 4 or 5 years old, I had this thought in my mind: what is life and all that. So where do we come from and all. And around 6 or 7 years, I had two unique experiences. One, I was once doing meditation, Om meditation. I just was in a group, and I never knew anything about this, what is Om or meditation. But after doing it continuously for 7 days, I used to do it for 1 hour, just in a group meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So I was filled with so much peace in mind, and as if I was in a different world. That was a very beautiful, unique experience I had at the age of 7.
Okay.
And later on, at the age of 8 or 9 years, I used to go at a convent school.
Mm-hmm.
And there I got introduced to one of my friend who used to take me to her church.
Okay.
And actually, in one of the moment, I was just sitting, and I was just observing, and suddenly I saw a picture of Jesus, as if it was a live. He was standing in front of me, and it continued for about 5 minutes. I was just I was like speechless. I just couldn't know what it was, that experience. And then I shared it with my friends and my parents, and they were like, surprised. But later on, that vision was the only one which I got, and it lasted for about 5 minutes. Later on, I never had a vision, but always I uh, do some spiritual sadhana or this. I feel that same peace within me.
Yeah. So did your at that young age you had those questions, what is life, and so did those questions get some answers, or they didn't get answers at that young age?
At that young age, I was not so much in tune or awareness, but later on, at around 16 or 17 years of age, I read about a book of Swami Rama,
Yes.
Living with Himalayan Masters. So that answered many of my questions, and that filled me more with more intensity that I have to uh, pursue this path of spirituality, because it seemed so attractive and interesting. And
True.
and later on, in the same maybe 1 or 2 years, I read autobiography of a yogi by Swami Paramahamsa Yoganand.
True.
So again, that made me filled with intense desire to follow this path of spirituality.
Yes.
So later on, I went into yoga, Ayurveda graduation, which is also incidentally the same, means it talks about the soul, the body and the mind in a
Correct.
beautiful way.
True.
A very combination of all these three make us a person.
Yes. Lovely, Aparna. How early childhood experiences possibly pull you towards this particular direction? And in your case, you were lucky because you also took a profession where the mind, body, and spirit continuum is something that you work with. So that's really lovely. Very nice. So, Aparna, today, whom are you going to be paying the tribute to?
In tribute to my younger brother-in-law.
Okay.
So,
What exactly happened?
actually, he was a special child since he had a Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
So, Down syndrome, many people may not be knowing what exactly it is. It is a chromosomal disorder. The 21st chromosome, actually, it multiplies in a double way. So, but it has, in Down syndrome, it unfortunately gets multiplied in 3 times, trisomy. So it is a genetic disorder.
Correct.
The person is has a little lower intelligence, we can say, and he has a lowered immunity. A person with Down syndrome, they have certain
That's right.
characteristics.
Correct. Absolutely. Yes. So, after you got married, you came to know him.
But actually, before marriage, I knew that my husband has a brother.
Okay.
And when we first met, he said, if you had a brother, what would you do? I said, yes, I will accept him as my brother, and I will treat him as my brother, younger brother. Actually, he was 2 years elder to me, but as we shared a very close bond with each other, and I treated him like my younger brother, and we shared a very beautiful, unique bond with each
What
other.
was his name, Aparna?
Shambhu.
Shambhu. So, Shambhu and you had a beautiful and unique relationship. You knew about him before you got married to your husband. And did you have any doubts about how will you manage him, or the entire responsibility is going to be on you? Or you felt, no, uh, I will treat him like a younger brother and that's it. I will accept him.
Accepted him unconditionally, and actually at that time I had in mind maybe I will, because I had studied yoga, maybe I can try yoga therapy on him to somehow means improve his status. Means I had a lot of ideas, but in actuality, which I couldn't pursue with him. But
Mhm.
he was having a very loving bond with me. So we used to play with each other. Like, when initially we met, he was a little hesitant, but then he was very much, for every small thing, he used to call me. He used to call me as Anni, means Vaini, the elder
Mhm.
brother's wife.
Mhm.
So he used to call me for every small thing. He used to come to me and say, and he was unique in the sense, for every small thing which he did was a great achievement for him for that at that.
Absolutely. Yes.
So like bathing or cutting nails or shaving, he used to come and tell me, "Oh, yeah, see, I have done my shaving, I have done my bathing, I have completed my combing and all that." So every small things he had, it was like an achievement for him. And he used to write on a piece of paper, because he knew that we were all, means we were in the profession of this clinical profession. So he used to come with us to the clinic,
Mhm.
and he used to take a paper and pen and write ABCD and show it to me. And sometimes he used to say, "Okay, I'll write medicine for this patient." And so,
Yes, and how beautiful you encouraged him, you appreciated his tiniest of efforts, and it went so far in creating that space of love between the two of you. So
yes.
nice, Aparna. So heartwarming when you say like this, very nice. And then any interesting things that the two of you did together and you learned from him.
Yes, main thing I learned from him was how to stay in the present moment. And for every person, I feel like sharing this and telling them, treat your children as they are very unique, and means whether they are this having a special disability, or maybe as a normal children, but everybody is a unique individual. So when we treat them as a person, as a unique, they feel so happy, and they try to leave us up to our expectations. They help us, means they grow, make us grow within ourselves, the spiritual side, the
Yeah.
aspect come to know about things. Like he taught me how to live in more in the spirit, at this present moment, and how to appreciate small things which he did. And
Yes.
he took, actually, I never imagined that he could take so many responsibilities. Like he used to insist that he will carry my child on his lap, and first initially I used to fear maybe he will
Uh,
drop my child down, but he was so protective with my child. He used to carry him on his lap, and he used to carry him and move around. And it was like, sense of pride in him that I am helping the child, miss, मैं संभाल रहा हूँ, बच्चे
uh,
को संभाल रहा हूँ. That was his feeling, and
hmm.
he used to feel so proud of that when he used to take care of my child. So I
And
used,
was he kind of accommodative, adjusting, that मुझे यही खाना है, यही पीना है, ऐसे ही करूंगा? Was he stubborn, rigid, or was he really easy to get along?
because in some matters he used to be stubborn, like sometimes he used to say, I will not take bath, or I will not shave today. But when we used to persuade him, he used to readily agree. And he was very sociable person. He used to love to go out and meet people. And particularly he liked music very much.
Okay.
He was very fond of music. And he used to attend kirtans. He used to sometimes visit Gurudwara, and he
Oh,
And the kirtans. He used to go to mandir. He loved going to mandir and gurudwara. And still I remember he used to sing he used to sing that song, God's love is
It's
so
so wonderful. Yeah.
God, that he was very fond of. And he used to sing one Shabad, uh, Mere Sahiba, Mere Sahiba, Kaun jane gun tere. He was very fond of those two
And
songs.
you would sing it.
Yes.
Wow. Lovely. I'm just thinking, Aparna, you said that when you were a little child, you were interested in what is life and God and stuff like that. And then God gave you shampoo,
Ah, yes.
in his form,
Yes.
and you understood what life was. Beautiful.
Actually, I feel that every person and every experience in our life is something unique, which is there to help us to grow. Either
Absolutely.
we share our knowledge with others or they give us some knowledge or some insights which help
Yes.
us to
Yes.
grow.
So, Aparna, you have one child, two children,
Children.
two children. Okay. And how is his relationship with your children? Because now you already had a child. You see, when before you had your two children,
Ah.
biological children, Shambhu was like your child, and then you had two more children. So how was their equation and bond with each other?
He was very loving and very protective about them. He used to care for them. That's what I never imagined that he could take that responsibility, but he used to have means he took the responsibility and he used to do it with his heart. Means
Yes,
he put his heart into it while doing things for them and taking care of them. So he used to play
lovely.
with them. Uh,
Lovely, very nice. What exactly happened? I mean, I know that Down syndrome, uh, they say that the children don't live too long. People with Down syndrome don't have a very long life. So, how did you know that he's not doing well? Did he have any heart ailment?
he was perfectly fine
Mm-hmm.
except for some minor ailments. He had nothing major issue, no major issues. But
Right.
in October 2014,
Mm-hmm.
30th, suddenly he developed a fever. And
Okay.
it was very high fever. So, and in the evening, by evening, he was like semi-conscious. We couldn't understand why. Before, he was never like that. He I was covered with blankets because he was feeling very chilly.
Mm-hmm.
Then he was slightly semi-conscious. Later on, again he was normal. The next day again he had these symptoms. So we took him to the hospital and then got him tested. So we came to know that he had dengue. But
Oh,
in the same night again he went into the state of semi-consciousness. So we had to admit him in the ICU. So there he was admitted, and uh, at that time he was unconscious when we had taken him to the ICU. So um, at that moment he maybe around 3-4 days the doctor said ki there is no chance of him is getting well, and we were all worried. Where he was put on the ventilator. And before that, there was again a miracle happening at that moment. So, 5th of November was Guru Nanak Jayanti. So, at that time, all of us prayed for his well being. And I was sitting in the ICU there with him. And at that moment, a physiotherapist came because he was admitted in the chest ICU because all other beds were full. So she came and she did uh, applied some instrument on his chest, and he woke up with us. and he opened his eyes. And it was a miracle, even doctors couldn't believe. They had lost already hopes, but he, at that moment, again, he had gained consciousness. But still, he had to be in the ICU for quite a long time because he had developed some secondary complications like pneumonia and all that.
Mm.
So he suffered a lot. But maybe around 6 weeks he was in the ICU.
Six
And
weeks. That's a long time.
yes,
Mm.
so we were there constantly with him because he couldn't express much. So at that time he had this procedure of tracheostomy.
Yes.
So that also he couldn't speak at that moment.
Mm.
So but he used to signal with his eyes or hands and tell us what was his discomfort and all. And once, means when he was discharged at that moment, on that day, when he was told that he will be discharged, he was so happy that he wanted to come back home again. And at that moment, on the radio was a song playing, which was very low volume, which we couldn't hear properly. So then we uh, asked him, he just showed and smiled at the radio. Then I put on the volume, and then that song was playing. यम्मा यम्मा एक खूबसूरत समा बस आज की रात है जिंदगी कल हम कहाँ तुम कहाँ. So that was like, very touching moment for me. So we came home, and still his troubles were continuing, but he felt very happy coming home. But the thing was, he couldn't even sip water, means he couldn't drink as he wanted to from the glass he used to directly drink. So he had to be given sips of water, and his food also mashed, and his medicines all powdered and given. So just 2 days before his passing away, he desired, we said we'll take him out because he was feeling better at that moment. And so we took him to the clinic, which he always loved to go. And he always used to have one ritual, going to the clinic. He used to drink tea, which he loved drinking tea there. So he went and he drank tea without any much trouble to him. He was so happy and so elated. And later on, we came home. The next day morning, he, means while giving medicine, he aspirated some of it very and that caused him a lot of trouble. So again, in the evening, we had to admit him to the hospital. So, but this time his face looked so ashen, and he looked as if he is not going to come out of it. So the whole night we were sitting, me and my husband taking turns. And in the morning at around 11 o'clock, I was there with him in the ICU, and I just was having a book of Sai Baba with me, Sai Satcharit, I was reading, but I couldn't apply my mind. I was feeling so restless. I just prayed to Sai Baba, whatever will is there, your wish, but please see that, means you take care of him now on his journey, you be with him, because it was as if he is losing hope, means we were losing hope that he will not survive more. And so I just prayed to Sai Baba at that moment. So please take care of him and be with him. And at that moment, I saw his heart beats were fluctuating. Means he suddenly dropped down to 40. And then the doctors were there around. They tried their best to revive him, but he was not, they couldn't revive him more. So at that moment, there were more of the organ failure also occurring. So then it was like, time to say goodbye to him. So my parents-in-law both, is mentally we asked him, uh, the doctors also said, now please don't take more trouble, because he will not be surviving much. So then, like, mentally I prayed that on your onward journey, means you move on in a good way, and we wish you all the best. Like that, I mentally prayed for him, and later on he passed away.
What a moving story this is. I'm really feeling your pain. It's, well, I think God will bless him, I'm sure.
Um,
So, Aparna, I worked with special children for many, many years. I still work at a school which is for inclusive children.
Yes,
So I can understand the kind of love that they show us.
it's tremendous. They are so intuitive and so like, emotional, and immediate response to them, that even we as normal people, which we call ourselves as normal, cannot do. Like I still remember like one incidence, that once he used to come and express to me, that person did like this, I'm not going to talk to him again and all that. So just once I reminded him, "Ki, that person you say is a bad person, you are not going to talk to him, no?" He said, no, no, I am going to talk to him. Like, it was so beautiful experience, that he was living in that moment, and he had no grudges against anybody. He was used to forgive easily, let go things. Like if even somebody used to come and like make it mazak udana ऐसे, or something like that, but
Yes,
he used to forget and forgive them immediately. Means he never used to feel bad. For that moment he felt bad and angry, he used to come and complain to me or to his brother, like that, but he never had that in mind, like grudge
that's true. That's true.
anybody.
Very, very forgiving, very easy. They accept people just the way they are. And I think that's a huge learning that we have from them. So, yeah, Aparna, wonderful. So, it's been a few years now since he passed away, right?
It's
6 years?
2014, yes, 2014, December 21st.
So about six years. It's been 6 years, and so how do you now, remember him? तुम्हारे बच्चे, तुम, your husband. How do you remember him?
Yes, we actually he was born on 7th September. So we 7th September and 21st December are these 2 days we go to some orphanage or some specially abled children hostel and all. We go and give food to them, and we stay there with them, spend some time, especially means the whole afternoon or in the evening we give spend time. And we feel so happy that, like, there are so many Shambhus. I see so many Shambhus there, and I feel so happy and contented that they are there. Means spending certain moments with them or time with them is so uh, nurturing for us. It is for us help. It helps us to
Absolutely.
be with them.
Wonderful,
Gives us.
wonderful, Aparna. I always tell people that, If you want to learn about love and compassion, you must go and volunteer your services and give seva to these children, because they can teach you more about love and compassion than any book can teach you and any saint can teach you. So I completely agree with you, Aparna. So how do you see your life now without Shambhu? Or do you see Shambhu with you every time?
Initially, it was a great void. Like, my parents-in-law both had complete, means he was completely attached to them all the time. My mother-in-law, he used to hold her hand and go for walks and all that. And she used to help for bathing and all. And it was like, a great void in our life. But later on, we got slowly adjusted. But still we feel that he is with us every moment. And particularly when we see these children, we go to them and we meet them, we feel that there are so many people whom we can help, like these people who need, these children need our help. And like they are everything in us, like we.
Beautiful, Aparna. Very nice. So, what's the message you want to give people about, especially those people who have special children, those people who don't have special children? Uh, what's the message you want to give on love, compassion, being completely unconditional towards them? What is it that you learn and what is it that they can teach you?
It teaches about unconditional love, means we as a parents or caregivers or caretakers, we can say, we can help them by giving our love, unconditional love to them. And we can learn from them many things, like being in the moment, being in the present moment, or and not holding grudges or guilt, or they are so like, very free. They don't care what others think about them. They are their natural selves. So we can learn to be our natural selves, not conditioned by what others think or what others feel. We can more express. And they are very unique in the sense all of them have a beautiful, some abilities, some creativity in them, like music or dance, or they can paint well. They can do something which is creative, and we can help them or encourage them in that way to express their creativity, because they that at the intelligence level, maybe they are like children of 8 or 9 years old. They have that imagination or capacity, but they can teach us that to be creative, to be more like, helpful. They we can come in this way in our life as a,
Absolutely.
as a gift, you can say. We are really blessed in a way that they come to us as a gift to teach us, to give us something, and particularly unconditional love they give us.
Wonderful, Aparna. I think that's a beautiful message for everybody, that they enable us, though we call them differently able or we call them disabled, but actually they enable us. They are actually the true enablers in our life. They enable us to understand what love, what blessings, what grace is all about. And Aparna and her family were truly blessed to have Shambhu in their life, who taught them so much about love. So thank you, Aparna, for speaking to us, and God bless you and God bless your family. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः